let's go over to overheard conversations. So Pokemon, I don't know, like when it comes to fandom, when it comes to anime, I think that's one of the properties that has like transcended all that stuff. People who don't know anime, people who don't care about video games, all these people know who Pikachu is, right? And it makes a lot of sense because Pokemon is pretty old now. I was going to look up the anime initially, but the first game, 1996. What's the math now? 30 years. Okay. That's so weird to hear and think about. I was eating a hot pot with my girlfriend. In the table behind us, an Asian lady with her kid and her friend. I say Asian lady, but I'm pretty sure like these two people were younger than me. And they were getting hyped up. They were talking about Lapras. That's why I always said Lapras. She was talking about Lapras, and her friend was like, "Oh, you got to teach Lapras surf." And then I was biting my tongue because, teaching your Pokemon the HM moves, you want to always save and like create a HM slave where you teach it all the HM moves. You don't want to waste a slot on your actual Pokemon. But what title were they talking about? I have no idea how developed the battle system in Pokemon Go is, but I know that Pokemon Go is still a thing. I know that as far as Pokemon titles come, Pokemon Champions, I think just released. Is this person playing the latest Pokemon title, which, what is the latest Pokemon game? Scarlet Violet? I know Winds and Waves is on the horizon, but the most recently released game was what? Oh, we gotta go back to that title. I know that Leaf Green, yes, Fire Red and Leaf Green just got ported over to the Switch, so maybe that's what they were playing. The reason why I wanted to bring up this topic is Pokemon the franchise to me is definitely near and dear to my heart. First generation and all that nostalgia, watching the show, even the bonds I have with my friends. I said it before, one of my early podcasting ventures was trying to get all my best friends together, and we would be talking about life and then trying to find a way to tie it into Pokemon. And we had life lessons, we had dating stories and all that. And coming up with code names like the Elite Four, all that stuff. Like, so it just meant a lot. And even the theme song, "I want to be the very best that no one ever was." That was such a mantra for me when I was first teaching over in Japan, and I repeated that over and over, and just like, again, connecting my life in so many different ways. That Pokemon meant so much to me, but it's a franchise that really doesn't hit in the same way now, and that's fine. I'm not even sad or disappointed by that. Like, I think there's been other things that like hit me a little bit harder. It's like, man, I'm just not the fan that I used to be. But I think for one of those properties that just did so much, it is very interesting to see how little I care now. Don't really care about Winds and Waves. I was going to say, like, the last time that I was really into a Pokemon game was, oh man, I screwed up here. Diamond and Pearl. This blew my mind. Diamond and Pearl came out in 2007, so that's almost 20 years back when I was like really invested, really grinding, really trying to get the shinies and all that. When I got the Switch, of course, I did get Pokemon Shield, and it just didn't really do much for me. I know that it was kind of polarizing for some people. I think the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did even like way worse. There was like the motorcycle Pokemon in that one. The open world stuff was kind of mixed. I know that Pokemon Arceus did a lot better than Pokemon Sword and Shield did as far as like critical reception goes. I mean, all these games still make a ton of money because of just how powerful the Pokemon property is. Out of all these nerdy geek properties, obviously there were plenty of people who were playing and checking out the stuff back in the day, but you just wouldn't hear it out in the open as much. And I'm totally fine. Like, I'm not saying that we need to be gatekeeping anything, but it's just so interesting to see. So Pokemon's one of those things. If you want to think about comic books and how, because of superhero movies, like how like the Marvel Cinematic Universe really changed things up. And it's just so crazy to see when you used to be in the minority back in the day if you're a fan of a lot of that stuff, right? Just seeing Pokemon out in the wild, overhearing a conversation like that, just thinking through like, wow, I'm just like not in that scene anymore, even though I used to be so much. And I guess a very long-winded way to say, dang, I'm old. Okay. Uh, and on that note, uh, yes, like if you are under 26, I'm old enough to be your dad. That's weird. But I think the heyday of streamers right now, like a lot of y'all are 26 or younger. So I'm all y'all's dads, I guess.